Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about a couple things. The first thing is a general portfolio update between the two main accounts, which is Composer and TD Ameritrade. And after that, I want to talk about some new Composer features that have just been released that are very, very powerful. And finally, I just want to discuss my Airbnb, its present earnings, and kind of the whole idea of the Airbnb bust that's kind of really being discussed in mainstream media, YouTube influencers, pundits, so on and so forth. So let's get right into it. Let's just reduce my screen a little bit. There we go. Make it a little bigger. There we go. Perfect. So this is my Composer account. You can see year to date. Started the year at 209.5, so basically 210. So pretty much up about $37,000 since the beginning of the year. Clocking in right now about 237. You can see that it started at 203. We got to about 255 here, sold off down to 219. Kind of steady here. And then we got a big rally. It was at 247. And then it rallied all the way up to 272. This right here is where it's sold off. And let's see where this is. So this is July 19th is really kind of where the account peaked. So about in the last month, essentially. And I think that was a lot with the U.S. downgrade, its credit, banking, so on and so forth. And there was kind of a big sell-off there. So you can see, I mean, it's basically 273. So 273 down to 237. It's about 36,000 just in that announcement and subsequent sell-off. And then we've rallied a little bit yesterday, Friday. So yeah, 237. But again, from 209, beginning of the year. So definitely so far been pretty good. And let's take a look at TD Ameritrade. There we are. So you can see 482,000, almost 483. And you can see we started the year here about 450. So let's say 483 minus 450. So about up $30,000 in the TD account. So somewhat similar there. You can see kind of the same thing. July, here was the peak July 31st. I think the other one was July 19th, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see, wow. So at July 31st, this account was at 523. So just since then, it's sold off about 41,000 after that announcement. But again, still up, about 30,000 or so, since the beginning of the year. And you can see kind of the ebbs and flows throughout. And again, that big rally and then sell off. And there was a big jump on Friday. So together, it's about 720,000 even. So let's just tally this up. Let's go back to Composer. Plus 237,079.6 cents. So $720,045.95. So let's just say 720,000 even between the two main accounts. Not a bad place to be. And so now let's transition specifically into Composer. So one of the things I've done recently is I've updated a lot of my hedge fundy-esque first, second generation strategies into more of the third generation, what I call Discord strategies. And I'll just kind of, do a quick little breakdown for those of you who don't understand those terms. So I was one of the first users of Composer, maybe the first 10, 20, something like that. And the first generation of symphonies to me were very much kind of rebalancing symphonies. Like if you take the hedge fundy, 55%, UPRO, 45% TMF, rebalanced 4 times a year. Or you might have what I call a laundry list symphony, which also would be to me a first generation symphony. And the first, and that would be like, let's say you wanted to compile a bunch of dividend ETFs. So let's say you took the two main from Vanguard, VIG, VYM, and then the famous Schwab one. It's SCHD, and a couple other prominent dividend. Let's take ProShares Noble, Dividend Aristocrats, NOBL, and you put those in a symphony, and you balance between those dividend ETFs once a month, once a quarter, once a year. And then the second generation symphonies involved a bit more logic, or involved logic. So if this, then that. So they weren't just pure rebalancing symphonies, but their logic was pretty basic and simple in the line of code. I'll use that word code for lack of a better word. Maybe instructions, because it's not quite code. But if you take this, for example, this is one of Composer's initial strategies that they found. It was up before, enhanced momentum. You can see I put 2,000 into it. You can see it's at 24.48, and this is what I would call kind of like a prime second generation symphony. You see here, and look at the annualized return. Wow, 81.5%. And it says here, determine whether a market is risk on or risk off. If recent total bond market returns are higher than short-term bond market returns, the market is risk on. Otherwise, it is risk off. If the market is risk on, select the top momentum asset from a set of 3 ETFs and assign it the full weight. If risk off, assign the weight to long-term U.S. government bonds. So there's more than 3 here. It looks like there's 5, which is fine. And again, their logic is here, if this, then that. So if the 60-day cumulative return of BND is greater than the 60-day cumulative return of BIL, risk on. And then there's a list here, and this is using momentum, a strategy momentum. Which of these is a 90-day higher cumulative return? You're owning one of them. Else you're in, this isn't long-term, this is mid-term, 7 to 10-year treasury bonds. So using momentum here and some leverage here, you see that these 3 aren't using leverage, and then you have UPRO and TQQQ for a little bit of leverage, and it's done really well. You can see right now it's actually in IE. I'm in IEF in this symphony, 26.05 shares, $2,400, and you can just you can see this is actual money. I've deposited $2,000. It's 24.48. And let's do simulated. Let's just go like 3 years. So you can see, wow. So since I would say like 2023, this has really done well this year. But over the last 3 years at 21%, which is tremendous. Again, I feel anytime you're above 15% annualized over the long term, you're doing quite well. So see, you'd be at 17. Let's just run it back a little further. Again, I kind of geek out here on Composer. I spend a lot of time doing this, clicking this and checking this. And now long term, going back to 2016, you can see there's a big jump here. Wow. And this is looks like 2020. But long term, it's still at 13%, which is good. Like I said, anything above 15 is pretty tremendous. So 13%. It's still slightly above SPY. So let's just go back like 2 more years and see where we are here. And you can see that those extra 2 years make a big difference on this strategy. You're up a percentage point, almost at 14 here, 10,032. But anyways, the reason I bring this up on this particular symphony is you can see the logic is a paragraph or so. Pretty basic kind of logic, but very effective. Very, very effective. It definitely attains alpha over SPY going back some time. So then the third generation symphonies, or what I call the Discord symphonies, really the rise of Garen Phillips, Derek Nielsen, Dees, Jaewon Jung, Eric Snellman, Cody Haas, and then there's so many different creators now. It's hard for me to even keep up. Jason Coase is another big Discord guy. And so these are much more complicated, longer logic symphonies. And so I've shifted really into a lot of the Discord. This is a Discord Dippy Cutie version 3, the 200-day moving average here. RSI machine, I believe that was created by Dees. He's a big Discord guy. So yeah, so basically I've kind of shifted from some of the what I had created a bunch of like hedge fundy kind of permutations and more in the Discord. And this is a guy, Jaewon Jung. I haven't interacted with him much recently, but you can see here his 3 symphonies have done really well here. All of them are up. So I have those running live. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, we're in the 237, kind of where we are at the end of the year and how that ends up. But yeah, so at 720. Now, what I wanted to showcase is this in Composer. So let's go now. And this is the sort function that they added. So you can see now I can sort here. I can buy the name on the net deposits. See, this is the lowest deposits, highest deposits, current value, lowest, highest. But more importantly, they've added in the watch list. So these are symphonies that I've added from following along on the Discord and other places. Some I've created. And now you can sort on your own watch list by annualized return. You can see I'm actually running this one live here. And this is RSI machine. This is Holy Grail. That's a popular Discord symphony. So I sorted here by annualized. I can go ahead and sort by cumulative return. I can sort by Sharpe ratio. And this is one that's interesting. This is also another Discord symphony. I think Karen is very, very much partial to this one. Version 2.2 of Commander BND monthly. So it's just 1 trade a month. But look at the Sharpe ratio. I mean, tremendous Sharpe ratio. And then you can go in and investigate. You can expand it. Look at some of the back testing on it. So that's really fascinating just on the watch list. But I think the really cool thing that they introduced is the community link here. So they used to have these. So look, copy the greats. Like this is like the Warren Buffett. That's Warren Buffett's 90-10. There's the Swenson, the Dalio. So they're going to have those. And then let's go back here. They added in the community so many of the Discord symphonies. And so why is this, to me, groundbreaking, unique, whatever word you want to use there, is you're able to sort these Discord symphonies by, and again, annualized return, Sharpe ratio. Look at this one, 21.79 annualized return, 5.1 RSI issue. So, you can sort by RSI, you can sort by cumulative return. Again, the BND. And there's different permutations of that. So really someone, you see D's here, says do not follow. I guess, I don't know what he's doing there. Sometimes they experiment with different things. And then the Garen mod. But anyways, so a new user now can come in, join Composer, and be able to invest in and do research into some of these Discord symphonies and maybe even interact with some of the creators in the Discord and maybe ask questions perhaps to the community. So this is really, really cool. And it's sort of a library of these that are made available. So very, very powerful stuff. So this is, you could just see, let's just click on this one. This is like, the 3-year. Look at the 3-year return, 41%, 10,000 turns into 28.2 thousand. Let's go back another 3 years. So again, you could click on this, and 74.4, 10 and 280. And then you can go down here and look at the logic, start to research that. and maybe go into the Discord and poke around there. But yeah, so really, really fascinating stuff. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. About 15 minutes in, so I think I'll do my Airbnb bust video as a separate one. So we'll keep it to the portfolio update, a little bit of composer updates, and go from there. So see you guys on the next video. All right, take care. Ciao.